It's time. Yeah, it's time for the Ohlins. Inside this box lies some of the best coilovers you can get for the FK8 Civic Type R. Kind of gave it away in the introduction, but what the heck, you know? It's upside down, but you can tell what that says. This is the Ohlins Road and Track Dfv Valve coilover suspension system for the Honda Civic Type R. And you might be asking, fine folks behind this camera here, but Michael, doesn't the Honda Civic Type R come with a factory adjustable suspension? Why, yes it does. Now, height is not adjustable, but you can't switch it from comfort to sport to R+, which is fantastic. I love it. It's had tremendous results for me. It took a lot of thinking, but this is a message to you guys out there if you're thinking about doing this for your Honda Civic Type R. It's really important to pick a very, very high quality system that has a lot of research and development behind it, because what you don't want to do is throw in some cheap coils, just to get that stance, and then you ruin the suspension, handling characteristics of the car. That will not be the case with the suspension system. I've read a lot about it. I've heard a lot about it from other people who track their car a lot, and how great and how much they love their coilover suspension system. What's unique about this Ohlins setup right here is it has the Dfv Valve System. I'm gonna go off point here for just a second to explain to you why that makes this system unique. In a normal suspension system, what would normally happen is you hit the bump and the body of the car and the chassis of the car, and you feel it in the cabin, but everything would kind of just jerk upwards for a split second. And depending on what you're doing at that moment, if you're going around a high-speed turn, that could be really, really bad if you're disrupting balance in the vehicle. Now, the stock suspension does a relatively good job of soaking that up, but it can't react quick enough to the sudden changes in the road conditions like that. So it'll adjust to some undulations and whatnot, but it's not going to adjust to a sudden bump. Now, what makes this dual flow valve system unique in the Ohlins is that it has a secondary valve that allows for sudden impacts like that. It allows some of that liquid to go into a separate chamber, so the shock reacts quicker to that bump and you feel less of the bump in the car gets disrupted less, and your tires stay stuck on the road, which is the most important thing. That'll lend itself to better handling characteristics, better braking, better drivability even on the road when you're driving it day to day, better everything. So that's important to note. That's the biggest reason why I'm choosing to make the switch to Ohlins, because on the track, when you're trying to use as much of the track as possible, you're going to be driving over the berm, you're going to be on the edge of the turn, you're going to be using every little bit of the track you can to carry as much speed through a turn as possible. And so while the stock suspension system was doing a great job, I think I could take it to another level with this suspension setup. So we're down here to see Dr. Drew today. He's going to install the suspension for us, and then I'll give you my thoughts on how it feels just driving on a normal basis. Those are the Ohlins Road and Track Dfv coilover shocks for the Honda Civic Type R assembled. It's about to go in the car. So the nice thing about the system, it does use the stock hats. Sake Bomb Garage, who is a big distributor for the Ohlins shock for the Honda Civic Type R, they actually co-developed the system with Ohlins. So they had a big part, they played a big part in the development of that coilover suspension. In fact, I'll put their information below if you guys want to go check that out. but they have some other stuff. They have some adjustable camber top hats that they're developing right now. There is one prototype set out there right now. I don't have my hands on them. My buddy Dave actually has them. So we're waiting for that to come in, and I might grab a set of those. But for now, they use the stock hats. So that's not something that you need to wait for before grabbing a set of these coils, and they're absolutely worth it. Let's let Drew get back to work, and then we'll see what it's all like when it's put together. All right, we're back in the car after the Ohlins suspension has been installed. I've had the car now for about a week and a half. I've been playing with the settings, you know, driving on one setting for a couple of days, switching it out, trying a different setting another day, just to kind of get a feel for how the valving is set and how it reacts with the spring rates that I've got. So now we're going to go for a drive down one of my favorite canyon roads. At the moment, I've got the suspension set at 10 clicks from hard, and according to Ohlins, 15 clicks is like a comfort mode setting. 10 clicks, you know, 12 to 10 clicks is going to be a little more on the firmer side, more for like sporty canyon type driving. And when you get down to 7 clicks from hard or less, that is for track only. Now, I did try it on 7 clicks from hard on the street, and it is just, you know, I don't know. I certainly can't tolerate it day to day. 7 clicks from hard is just a little too firm for me. Even on some of the smoother roads, I guess it's kind of okay, but when you get into a little bumpiness, it can be a little rough. So I've tried it at 15. 15 is great, and actually what was surprising to me is 15 clicks from hard, it felt like a firmness somewhere in between comfort and sport on the stock shocks and springs, which is actually pretty good. But just like from what I've heard from other people who have changed to the Ohlins suspension, the road and track suspension, same as what I've got here with the dual flow valve system, is even though the firmness might be similar to like a comfort sport mode, the communication from the road was better. I can concur with that. I actually felt more the contours of the road. I felt like the car was communicating things back to me that I wasn't getting in comfort or necessarily sport mode with the stock suspension setup. That's enough talking for now. Let's go for a drive. So I'm just going for a drive down one of my favorite canyon roads. It's a road that I'm familiar with. It's a road I've been on many times before. I think that's important when you're testing out new suspension or trying to figure out settings, just so that's one less variable you have to worry about while you're checking things out. And as I mentioned earlier, I have the suspension set up right now to what Ohlins would consider sporty driving, canyon road type driving, maybe a hair firmer than that, just to get an idea of how close to the R plus setting I can get using the Ohlins. And per what I feel, on the dampening side, it feels like this is pretty close to what plus R would be. And as I make my way through the turns here, I mean, the car is just perfectly flat. You know, there's no drama, there's, you know, and what's interesting about it, and this can all be attributed to the dual flow valve technology in the road and track setup for Ohlins, is even though the firmness might be similar to the stock suspension setup, it really does feel like there's more tire on the road. Like I'm gonna on purpose drive over these cats here, these cat eyes, I did not run over cats. I'm driving over the cat eyes. You can probably hear the vibration maybe. And it's interesting because I can feel more of the road, but it doesn't feel like the body itself is moving any more than it used to, which tells me that the tire is staying in contact with the ground even better than it was before. So now we're going to jump onto the freeway here for a little bit just to see what cruising is like on what I perceive to be close to the plus R setting. You know, and I realize most people aren't going to drive in plus R or even this firm setting on the street for daily purposes. I'm just demonstrating the flexibility in the Ohlins system. Now, I will say probably the only shortcoming for the Ohlins coilovers is the adjustability. The stock shocks and springs, you can adjust the dampening from inside the cabin, right? You can flip it into comfort mode, into sport mode, or into plus R. With the Ohlins coilovers, you do unfortunately have to be outside of the car. There's no remote way to do it. For the front wheels, it's not too bad. You just crank the wheel over. You can get your hand underneath to get to the knob. You adjust it to where you want to adjust it, and you're good. On the rear wheels, you do have to take the rear wheels off to get the dampening adjusted. For me, that's not really a big deal. That was part of the consideration, but whenever I go to the track, I'm switching to my track set of tires anyways. So I have the wheels off, so it's not a big deal to, while I have the wheels off, just, you know, twist the knob to where I need it to be, and I'm on my way. So here I am cruising on the freeway. You know, not a whole lot of bumps in the road in this part of the freeway, but it feels just like plus R. You know, and I had it at 15 clicks from firm earlier in the week, and it was very comfortable. But again, it still communicated with me even better than it used to what was going on the road. And I suspect that will translate to the track. If I can feel more what's going on underneath the car at the track, it may inspire me or give me more confidence to push it a little harder, or know when to back off in certain parts. That can be invaluable information where you're shooting for low lap times. All right, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope this was informative for you and encourages you to maybe explore some options suspension-wise for your Civic Type R. What I will tell you, and I'll reiterate this, and I can't overstate it, if you are going to get a set of coilovers for your Civic Type R, make sure you get a quality set. The suspension, the stock suspension in the FK8 Civic Type R is among the best stock suspension I've ever driven in a vehicle. And what you don't want to do is buy what you think is going to be an upgrade and it ends up being a downgrade. I didn't get the coilover suspension to get all stancy and have my lip to fender look. That's not at all why I did this. I did it purely for the use at the track. I wanted a little bit more than what the stock suspension could offer me, and that's why I went with the Ohlins. So thank you for joining me on today's video, guys. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. I see a lot of you guys watching my videos, which I really appreciate. But while you're at it, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Help support the channel so I can keep doing videos like this for you guys. And as always, stay hungry, stay fast, stay tuned. I'm Michael Baxi, and I'm out.